Hey there, you know that thing outside? The reason you can't go outside despite how inviting the weather might be? I'm sure you do, and while being stuck in your house, assuming you're being smart, is very different and not very fun for a lot of people, I'd like to remind you that you're not nearly as isolated as you might feel. This sort of thing has happened before, last time being the 1918 flu outbreak. Yes, 1918. To put that in perspective, that's the year World War I ended. The most obvious reason we're scared of this event is because no one alive today has had to deal with this before. How did the proto-boomers in 1918 pass the time? I tried researching and I can't find much of anything, so jump rope? Hopscotch? That's speculation, and I'm not sure how either of those are supposed to be fun indoors, but one thing's for sure, unlike our ancestors,
we have technology.
It didn't work.
Life as a hermit is alarmingly different for a lot of people, but as a generation, we're lucky to have so many options to distract ourselves and interact with each other despite being trapped in our homes. New Year's rolled around and all the gamers were like, March 2020 about to be lit! And we weren't quite as right as we'd hoped. A lot of games were due in March, but got delayed for one reason or another. Animal Crossing New Horizons and Doom Eternal both dropped on the 20th, and suddenly it's like the Wii just launched all over again. Except on Twitter. Remember that? My broken-hearted 7-year-old self does. I knew I was going to get the new Doom ever since it was announced, and I reluctantly bought Animal Crossing after appealing to majority, and by majority I mean my Switch friends list. Both of these make for good distractions right about now. Want to ignore the state of the world by visiting a hellscape and decapitating everything that moves? id Software's got you covered. Want to ignore your isolation, rent, bills, and other priorities in exchange for crippling debt to a capitalist tanuki in a business suit? Nintendo called, they want your wallet. What's great is I can do both of these with my friends across the planet without putting them in danger. I didn't initially enjoy Animal Crossing on day one, but playing it a few hours daily for this video has made it grow on me. I played roughly a level and a half of Doom Eternal until I realized this game is much more difficult than the first one. I don't know if it's my lack of motor skill or what, but this game mops the floor with me much sooner than Doom 2016 did. What I do know is that the Arachnotron can die in a fire. Now, if you're a reclusive hermit like me, you probably lean towards single-player games before multiplayer ones. In which case, now's a good time to get lost in the virtual world. Easily, the game I played the most for this video was The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. It's not new by any means, it's been out since 2017, but when I wanted an escape, my mind turned to the bright, colorful, and ever so natural feeling Kingdom of Hyrule. I remember when I first played this game, I didn't appreciate the minimalist approach to music. It's a stark contrast to previous Zelda entries, but playing it again for distraction made it clear to me just how much the relative silence works for this game. The brilliant lighting, the use of color and exploration, accompanied by nothing more than Link's footsteps and the occasional piano notes, truly sells a very peaceful incarnation of this land that Zelda fans have come to adore. No amount of ancient laser beams to the face, infuriating gyro puzzles I cheated at, or electrocutions matter in the long run. I just wanted to keep playing. Within the realm of single-player games, something gave me the idea to distract myself with Dark Souls, but alas, I am not gotten good enough at these games to make 2 hours of footage worth it. April 3rd rolled around and Capcom gave us the highly anticipated Resident Evil 3 remake, which I now dub Resident Evil 3 Remake because I'm a genius. I bought this game expecting to play it for this video, but I decided that a game about bioterrorism by means of a viral outbreak wouldn't be mentally healthy for many of us, myself included. In fact, I thought for sure it would get delayed thanks to current events, but no. You know what did get delayed for that reason?
We have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok, and flat out deceived.
The $60 weren't wasted though. I will play it eventually, just not right now. April 10th, which will be long past by the time this video's out, will bring us the answer to all the Weeb's Prayer Circle's Final Fantasy VII Remake. Listen, I like this series and the original PS1 game as much as anybody, but I never was exactly hyped for this one. I'm cautiously optimistic at best. Die-hard Square Enix fans will understand. Final Fantasy 13 changed me, and 15 left more to be desired. I can't trust anymore. Even if I was hyped, I don't own a PS4, and I don't care what it is, I'm not buying a console for one game, especially not with next-gen consoles right around the corner. With that said, give me the Super Nintendo Final Fantasies done up like Octopath Traveler. Now that's a remake I can get behind. No, the one game I rely on most for a distraction from the harsh reality outside, the granddaddy of all stress relievers in my opinion is Xenoblade Chronicles. I adore this game. Most games I have to talk myself into or be in a specific mood to play, Xenoblade isn't one of them. I can turn this game on any day of the week, and no matter what mood I'm in, this game makes my day better. Monolith Soft knows the way around sprawling open worlds, which then makes it clear why Nintendo trusted the studio to make Breath of the Wild's map of Hyrule. This game prides itself on the statement, if you can see it, you can reach it. While there is a story to be told here, and that story is great, on the surface you're a tiny speck of a human dropped into a humongous beautiful world filled with enemies that look so much like real life animals I almost feel bad for killing them. Except I don't, because this guy told me to, it's fine. Combine the presentation with the absolutely godlike music, and Xenoblade Chronicles makes for, as of now, the most magical experience I've ever had with a game. This game isn't new either, but it will be soon. Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition drops May 29th, and when it does, you're all going to think I've died. I cried actual tears when the remaster was announced. I'm so happy this game is finally seeing life on a system people care about. But my lord, these bosses mop the floor with you if you rush through the game to get footage for a video. I hope they fix the level curve. And yes, I am playing on an emulator. Sorry. I gave my copy to my brother-in-law as a Christmas present. Don't ask me why the Monato's texture isn't loading. It loads just fine on the title screen and then suddenly solid black. Moving on! There you have it. Some games I'm playing to distract myself from life.exe not working. And more coming down the pipeline that are probably out by the time this video is done. The situation we're in leaves a lot of us uneasy, and while I'm not going to sit here and tell you other people have it worse because I don't know what mental illness is like, at least I don't think I do. I've never been diagnosed with anything. What I can say is that humanity as a whole could have it a lot worse if this wasn't happening in 2020. Apart from supplying solo players with an escape, video games have a way of bringing people together that no other form of art can perfectly replicate. Even 30 years ago, our response to a global would have been so much different from our current one. Social gaming largely required going outside and spending 25 of our parents' hard-earned cents per game. It's an era that part of me is glad I wasn't born into. While I can't save everyone from a spiraling pit of depression and alcoholism, hopefully I've reminded some of you that if this absolutely had to happen, it happened at the right time. Because unlike our ancestors, we have ways of being reclusive yet social. And as a generation, we should be thankful for that possibility.